you're going to say to yourself, why would I buy the Pro again? All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So the Pixel 7, this is about 3 to 4 days in with it, and it's been an experience. I think the one thing I'm definitely going to tell you is that for $599, you're getting a heck of a lot of phone. Just like with the Pixel 6, the Pixel 7 continues that trend of just lots of value. So previous generation, current generation. So this is the 7 Pro, and 6A, and this is the 5A and 4A. Now there's other generations of this device right here, but I don't have them all laid out here. Just wanted to get a nice little decoration for you while I do this follow-up video. So a few days in, and you know, heading on into maybe 5 days, and you know, it's a minimum 3 days of using this device, and you're going to not only be impressed with the device, you're going to say to yourself, why would I buy the Pro again? You know, because remember, Google sent the Pro over, and I appreciate them doing so. Just like last year, they sent the Pro, and then I went out and got the 6, and then again this year they sent the Pro. I went out and got the 7. So it's important to note that when you consider devices like this, you want to consider, how is it beneficial to me? How is this going to be beneficial to me? How is this? I want to. Oh, I like this one here. Yeah, I want to get all that I can get for my money, and I don't want to spend a lot of money. That is where devices like this genuinely come in. And I mean, I think Google knows this, but you know, let's just jump on this price conversation real quick, because I did this last year, and I pretty much told you the same thing last year, that the 6 is the smarter purchase, and that companies will give you an out. And this is totally true, and it's not any different for Google with their devices. I mean, their out for this generation is going to be the 6A. This is your out. If you don't even want to spend 7 money, you can spend 6A money and move on. You're going to get the same speedy performance. You're just getting a little bit more. You're getting that newer design, and I've skinned mine here. If you haven't seen that video yet, be sure to check that video out. Shout out to Sophie Guard. This purple, blue, green skin is absolutely great. It is stunning in different lights. But you know, they've updated the bar on here. They've updated the bar. And while I have a skin on both of these, I've compared these. You can see the bar is a lot different on this newer version. It's kind of bubbles up. It's a little bit wider. It's got, you know, different camera look in there, but you know, ultimately you're still getting the same great performance, if I'm being honest, on the Pixel 6a that you're getting on the Pixel 7. So, you know, with this being their latest, you can see how fast that facial recognition is, because that is something I was going to get to. But, you know, the facial recognition is back. That's something that people complained about. And I'm going to go ahead and say complained about, because, you know, for the price, I get it. You want every feature that's definitely possible for Android to offer. So in this follow-up video, we'll discuss a few things. The price, as I was getting ready to get into, is it worth going, you know, with the Pro over the is it worth going with the Pro over the 7? Now this is going to come down to, obviously, everything is personal preference, but if you want to get the non-curved display, the Pixel 7 doesn't have the curved display, and the Pixel 7 Pro does in fact have a curved display. It is absolutely great. So both are really nice. Both have a high refresh rate. It's just going to come down to, do you want to get a flat display, and you know, do you want that extra telephoto lens? Do you want the higher resolution display? Up to you to decide. I'm going to tell you though that, you know, having both here, my experience with them is the same as last year, bars. You're just getting so much for $599, folks. It's almost impossible to ignore that this device exists. And then when you go back even further, you cannot ignore the Pixel 6a. I mean, honestly, the 6a has just as good of experience as this device. I mean, you get a flat display. It's a little bit smaller, you know what I mean? So you got an even more pocketable design. It's just a matter of what you want, really. And with Google, they're doing it right. I mean, this I could pick up any of these Google devices and they're going to fly through the menu. They all have pretty much great cameras. The advantage to these, I was doing my update on these. The advantage to these, because they're still getting updates. The advantage to these devices right here is that they have the headphone jack and they have the physical fingerprint reader, and that is a huge plus. That's why I do not write off the Pixel 5a or 4a 5G or 4a. I don't write them off because there's a big market for people who want that physical fingerprint reader, who like this kind of unibody design, who don't want a glass body, and who need a headphone jack for listening to radio and stuff like that in their workplace where they don't have a signal. This one's still installing. Yep, there we go. Ready to restart as well. But either way, you're going to get this speedy performance on all. I mean, this is the 4A, and Google's still offering $300 on that device if you opt to get it. Now, price aside, again, performance is going to be, to me, the same on all of these devices. I know they may sell you that the Pro model has the macro photography, and it can do a few more things. It's got the higher resolution display, and it's got just different things that make it somewhat of a pro model device. But the 7, in fact, I have been using this for a ton of photos on the channel, and even small clips and just all different types of things, and it's perfectly fine. The cameras are great. I don't have that telephoto lens, but you've got AI. You've got AI on this device, and you've got AI on this device. Google has mastered the art of photo taking on their devices, folks. If you still don't think that this device, any of these Google devices, take the best photos, something's wrong. I know I have other devices that can take great photos and video. They are around. I have a ton of phones here, folks, and I'm actually shuffling between them all. Yeah, OnePlus 10 Pro. I got a video I might work on for the $899 crew. I might go ahead and do that. I'm unsure whether I want to put that together or not, but that's something I was working on for the $899 people. But it's on my social media discussion about that, kind of getting it started right now, just to feel you guys out, see what you're interested in. But the Pixel 7 has its place, and I think Google knows this because they have this high-end phone right here with a lower price, minus a few features that this phone has, the Pro. But if you don't have the Pro, you're not gonna miss anything. So when I hear people saying you're gonna be missing out on something, you're not gonna be missing out on anything. You didn't go with the Pro. If you don't go with the Pro, you're not missing out on anything. Okay, you got the extra lens, you got that AI zoom, you got all these things, and the 30 times zoom and things like that. Those are all things, folks, that most people probably won't use that often. They won't. I mean, the last time I used a zoom like that, it was quite, I mean, I was testing it out initially and things like that, but in my day-to-day life, I really don't have a need to use that type of zoom. Okay, I'm at one of my grandchildren's game or something like that. Yes, I'll do that. But I mean, it's not a regular feature that you use. So the cameras on here trump a lot of different phones, man. These are some of the best cameras, just like on the 6, just like all the way down to the 4A, 3A, the 4 XL. Folks, these cameras that Google puts together, they're good. It's just that they're now improving on their AI. Their learning machine is getting better and better and better, and they're allowed to stay in the industry with some of the best cameras in the game. Now, one downside about the cameras, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about it once again, since I talked about it on this phone, while it has not happened yet, I have not had any overheating issues with the Pixel 7 at this point. I have not had any, but that doesn't mean that I won't. And this is going to come down to the processor. The cinematic video on here, unfortunately, is still limited to 1080p, and it's only limited to the rear camera. So with that being said, I think you're probably going to want to really consider, if you're a camera person, still go with the Pixel devices for taking your photos. You will not be disappointed at all. the camera footage on here, the cinematic video, it is good, folks. It is not bad quality. But what we see now is an influx of people having some woes about it. You know, they're having those situations where they having a little bit of overheating and the phone's cutting off on them in cinematic video, or they're in direct sunlight and their phones are heating up. This is going to happen, folks. This is you can't avoid this. It has happened to us all. We cannot avoid the sun beating down on our devices and, them not getting super hot. This is just, you can't avoid this. Every device I have has heated up to the point where it has done something. However, every device has not cut the camera app off. Now, notoriously, Sony is known for this, so it's not really that big of a deal. If you think about it, Sony's cameras still can't record and have limitations. This is where Apple wins, and then you have Samsung winning. Their phones don't cut off on me either. The 6A doesn't cut off, the 5A doesn't cut off, the 4A doesn't cut off. But Google does have a history on their newer generations with some of their devices cutting off, and that's just what it is. So I'll say this, and then I really don't like to keep talking about this because it's not, I'm not just going to keep talking about it just because it's happening. All my devices are letting me know what time it is. That means it's 6 p.m. on Friday evening. But nonetheless, I'm not going to keep addressing the same issue over and over and over again. These things can be fixed in a software update, and they will more than likely. If they don't, okay, they got a flop on their hands, man. What do you want me to do? You know, do you think because I'm Team Pixel, I'm not going to say, hey, this is something's going wrong? Of course, we're going to need to address it with them. We need to tell them, but we don't need to flood the internet, letting every other video being talked about on my channel, me telling you over again, oh my God, please fix this, please fix this. Okay, give them a chance. Let them get the update out there. Let them see what's coming. It is a new device. I'm not making excuses for Team Pixel. I'm just telling you, or for Google, I'm just saying that's not how I do it. You do what you want to do. You watch who you want to watch. You absorb all that energy if that's what you want to. But these cameras, the quality is phenomenal. Some people just are really into that. You know, they're into reporting the same issue over and over again, and they don't give an opportunity to get a fix. So the good thing is this did happen. With other devices, Google now has this reputation that when the Tensor chip just isn't that great for handling the video recording in some of the settings. Because when I record in regular 4K video, I don't have an issue. I have yet to have this thing shut off. Well, this one hasn't cut off on me at all, but the Pro is the one that I had the issues with where it was cutting off, and it happened 2 times already. And it hasn't happened since. I've also gotten 2 updates on my camera too. So if you haven't gotten 2 updates on your camera, maybe that might be the problem for you. But in general, video quality on this device has been freaking crazy. It is so good. I focus on video because I like to sometimes use my products that I have coming in to show consumers this is what your device might possibly be able to do. That's the reason I focus on video and cameras and things like that. But other than that, I don't think the average consumer is going to even use cinematic video. And when I say the average consumer, I mean just people who are getting this phone out of the box. They probably won't even switch it to 4K video. I know several people, and I'm like, "Do you shoot that in 4K?" They're like, "Huh?" They just don't know, folks. But that's not an excuse. If it's there, and I want to quote someone. His name is Eric from Easy Computer Solutions. He said on his podcast the other day that just because you don't use it, that doesn't mean it's not important. And I agree with that. Meaning, there's functions and features on the device, and just because one person is not important to another person doesn't mean it shouldn't be important to everybody. So with me, I really hone in on the video cameras, and this is just what I do. And so if I had a problem initially, I reported it, but I'm not going to keep reporting on that. I'm going to tell you that this quality of these cameras are actually phenomenal. It's not that you can't use these cameras. I checked out Ike's video too. And in Ike's video, he shot all day. He says that in his video, he did get a warning, but his cameras didn't cut off, simply put. And that's that. The highlight of Google's devices are software, and now they're getting some beautiful hardware, because I like these new designs, but they're getting, their software has always been great. Their cameras are getting so good. It's just incredible. I need them to get down on the video, and I'm willing to wait. I'll wait it out, Google. I will wait you out. Simply put, I'm going to wait on you to get this fixed. And that's just it. Now, when it comes to battery life on there, after I gave you that long spiel, my apologies, but I'm kind of tired of talking about it, and people want to hear about it. People always say, another thing Eric said on his podcast the other night is that when people throw random words out there and group everybody together saying no one's addressing this, yeah, sure we are. You're just not watching us. You're watching other people who have a bigger voice, so to speak, than we do, technically on the scene. But it's not how big your voice is. It's about where the people that it reaches is who you reach. That's what I want to say. You can have the largest voice out there and you can have the most people following you, but if you don't reach the right people, it does not matter. You're just out there blowing smoke. And my goal is to reach the right people. I'm not tagging Google on Twitter saying fix this and all this other stuff. I'm not doing that. And I'm not saying other people do that, shouldn't do that. I'm telling you directly, that's not what I'm doing. I know that when you want something resolved, you have to have a lot of patience and you have to talk to the right people. Simply put. And I know most consumers don't have that kind of voice. They have to lean on their carriers and things like that. But nonetheless, battery life on here is a big battery inside, over 4,000 milliamps. And if you don't make it through a day, I don't know how that will be possible, but it is totally possible that you can't make it through a day with this device. But I can go a couple of days on the 7, and then crazy enough, I don't want to turn off the high resolution on the Pro, but on the Pro, I'm barely kicking down a day and a half, probably. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm squeezing a full 3 and 4 days, because the more and more I use it, it seems like it's getting less and less. But when I compare the two, which is something I really should not do a lot of, but when I compare these devices, obviously you're going to tell me, well, Jay, that's a 90 hertz and that's 120 hertz. Okay, that's cool. So big battery with 90 hertz wins. Are you shocked? I mean, yeah, you should be able to make it through a day and a half at least with this device, depending on what you're doing. I don't use Facebook. My brightness settings are set to auto. And I have all my synchronizations turned on, 4 email addresses, Pixel Watch definitely going, and everything's linked. So I don't have an issue with the battery life on here. That doesn't mean that you will have the same experience as me. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that this is my experience. So overall, folks, a few days in with this device, we're still early in. I just got the phone, so I need to continue to use it. I need to take it out. I need to do things with it. I need to get it going. So, because ultimately I'm looking for the best experience for my money. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, some people, will settle for certain things, but for me, this device, even though it's $599, that's still a lot of money. I mean, if you're being honest, be clear, $599 is a lot of money to a lot of people. Please remember this. $599 is a lot of money to a lot of people. Don't think that it's not. But again, look at all the options that you have from Google. The 6A being their latest generation of, this one came about 3 months ago or so, and it is phenomenal, folks. I'm using this one on Google Fi, and I rotate these 3 on Google Fi right here when I want to use Google Fi, and then all these over here get rotated with my main SIM card. Yeah. So, I mean, it's of this lineup. Obviously, I'm rotating with other phones, but I just feel like Google has done such a great job. I need them to continue with the software. And again, folks, we are brand new. We're new. This is brand spanking new. It's only been out for a short period of time. Everyone else gets a chance to fix their issues. There are going to be people that say, well, when you buy something out of the box, it's supposed to work perfectly. You haven't lived very long if you think that's going to happen on every rotation of something. And I'm in agreement. When Google has been releasing phones lately, they've been kicking out with some problems, but Google has been fixing them. So a few days with this device, I'm impressed. Why wouldn't I be? It's their latest offering. It looks good. It performs good. The cameras are good. Right now, no issues with the cameras, like I said. Battery is good. What more can I report in 4 days? You know what I mean? Now, when problems do come, you can rest assured I'm not going to just beat it down forever and keep talking about it, but I am going to tell you about it, and then I'm going to keep it pushing. Simply put, that's how I do it. I'm not going to keep ranting about it online and everywhere. And again, I'm not like trying to call any person out. I'm just telling you how I'm going to do it. I don't have the energy to keep doing that. I'm reporting it to you. That's that. If you're having problems with your camera overheating, you don't need to flood my comment section telling me I returned mine because I just couldn't deal with it. It was, if you're over the device, stop watching the videos on it. Just don't click on any of the videos that say Pixel 7 or 7 Pro. Just don't do it. If you hated it a lot, don't flood the internet with that type of energy. It's not necessary. We know there's one issue, and we also know that there's 100 other things that are better than that one issue. Simply put, it's your man Jay. 3 to 4 days in, I'm totally impressed like I thought I would be. I love the flat screen. I love the size. I love everything about it so far. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.